On today's DNVR Broncos podcast,
Go!
we are live from Radio Row here in San Francisco, and we got a great show planned for you. We're going to talk about the Broncos coaching search update, where that stands right now. Some good news there. George Paton, what's going on with him? Plus, we got some great guests joining us. Show starting now.
It's media night.
All the players talk to the media, and it's a circus.
And now you're here. So
Excited, very excited. We've already got some big guests on tap.
Let's freaking go, boys. The DNVR Broncos podcast is out at the Super Bowl all week, and we're kicking it off in style right here. Look at this lounge, and we are presented by Bet365. Use that code DNVR365 when you sign up. Deposit $10, place a $5 bet, and you're going to get $200 in bonus bets when you sign up. Fellas, how are we doing?
We are fantastic. Couldn't be better. 30 ounces of coffee in. Ready to get after this week.
Let's go, baby. Henry, how we feeling?
Good. So last year New Orleans was kind of like a late night city.
Yeah.
This is kind of an early night city.
Early night?
Yeah,
I was thinking early morning city.
Goes hand in hand.
Yeah,
same
it does.
thing. I think yesterday we saw one All-City coworker around 8:30 who had a few drinks, because I think 8:30 might be the time. 8:30 is like midnight here.
Well, I was told there's not a lot of like late night food here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's why we're got to check out our friends over at Taco Bell, which we are doing right after this show. And man, guys, morning started off with a bang, a shake, some might say.
Quite literally a bang. I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
Henry and I's rooms are what would you call that? Parallel to each other?
Yeah, there's kind of like a U shape to the hotel,
Yep.
so that every room has a window. They can pack more little rooms in there.
And
We're just across.
our little area was affected by an earthquake.
Very much so.
And I thought it felt like someone was just at the bottom of my bed, like swinging it back and forth. I was very confused for a few seconds.
Right. Because the earthquake was 7:01 a.m. I had my alarm set for 7 a.m., which pretty normal time, right? Round number. And so I like hear the alarm go off. I have to like go over to the other side of the room to like grab my phone, turn off the alarm, like go and like lay down again as you do. And then immediately I'm like, wait, am I shaking? I'm like, is my bed shaking? And I was like, the building feels like it's shaking. I was like, well, there's no way. But no, there was an earthquake.
Yeah.
And then you two, for like the rest of the morning, every
Everything's
time
shaking.
like something moves, you're like, it's another earthquake.
Right.
It's nuts. But I think we figured out that right below us, because we're in the San Francisco Convention Center,
We are.
we're going to get to in just a second.
We will.
There has to be like a subway that just constantly shakes, or else we've experienced just constant
Just
earthquake.
quaking. I did hear there's been 27 earthquakes in the last 24 hours. And that was an hour ago. We're probably up higher now.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's one of those things where like, I don't know a lot about San Francisco, but you get here and it all kind of comes back. Like you go outside for the first time and you're like, oh yeah, it's always kind of hazy, marine layer.
Yes.
Like you get out of the airport and you're like, oh yeah, hills everywhere. They're all about the hills here. And then like, oh, Golden Gate Bridge, and you're like, oh yeah, right on the other side of that is where all the monkeys live in Planet of the Apes, in that forest on the other side.
Right. I've always
just
thought
like
of that.
all the different things, like once every 15 minutes, you're like, oh yeah, San Francisco earthquake was one of them. I was like, oh yeah, this is earthquake place.
So we're kind of diving in already, but let's just take people behind the scenes of what happens at the Super Bowl. And let's do that in the Inside Scoop, which is powered by Ent Credit Union. Bank like a Bronco. Go to ent.com/DNVR. That's ent.com/DNVR. And sign up for Broncos checking. Ent Credit Union is insured by NCUA. Membership required. Annual percentage yield. Account requires associated Ent Broncos debit card. So, Henry, take the people behind the scenes of where we are. And it looks like we're starting with a global view of where we are.
Right. Yeah, we're just going to kind of...
Why are we doing this?
Because we're doing the Inside Scoop.
Okay.
And so the Inside Scoop is we're inside San Francisco.
Yes.
As everybody knows. and we'll talk a lot about the Broncos. We should get our bearings straight. Explain to everybody what's going on here.
It's hard to get your bearings when the ground is shaking.
Totally. I totally agree. So yeah, we're in San Francisco. As you can see on your screen, little blue dot on the point. Weird place though, in that everything's super spread out. So let's work our way down. You go down the coast a little bit. That's where we're going for the media party tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
It's gonna be like half hour.
3 circles.
Yep. Tomorrow night we're headed out to the EA headquarters
in Redwood City.
Right, which should be really interesting. I'm not sure what they have planned for us there, but like,
I hope there's redwood trees.
The Vegas media party. They have like
F1
the one floor.
thing.
There's like F1, and then there's like old Vegas level, and then it's all like the F1 headquarter track thing. So that'll be interesting.
My dream is that I get to put on one of those suits with all the little balls on it. How they like track. And then I want to do I want them to like map out my golf swing.
No, I want you to be throwing a football or tackling someone.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, I'll tackle you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So again, so that'll be a ways down. You go down like right on the coast. There's that other little circle. That's Levi Stadium, like an hour away, which is where the Super Bowl actually is.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of crazy that it's that far.
Yes.
And then just south of that is where we will be tonight, like the San Jose Convention Center, where we'll get a chance to talk to all the Patriots, all the Seahawks.
Old friend Brady Russell.
Old friend Brady Russell. There's like a list of guys I'm excited to talk about. Old friend Brady Russell. Montana's Patrick O'Connell. Linebacker for the Seahawks.
Legend.
Yeah.
So we typically do at tonight, we typically do some good interviews and then some fun social content. Last year we got the Chiefs to all say that that
Bo Nix is the GOAT.
Over Patrick Mahomes. That was great. We've got some ideas in our back pocket, but in the Toyota chat, if you're tuning in, let us know what questions we should ask the Patriots, what questions we should ask the Seahawks, maybe fool them a little bit. And if you hear likes them, he'll star them, and we'll ask them tonight.
We could do, which line would you rather have in the AFC Championship game? 137 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception, or 86 yards.
That one's happening because I'm going to do it passing-wise, so rushing doesn't count, and that's where Drake scored.
Yeah,
so they're going to choose Jarrett Stidham over Drake.
I love gotcha journalism, man.
Yeah.
I don't understand, and I like this area. The weather's amazing.
It's incredible.
Good food here. I don't want this to be interpreted as hate on San Francisco because I actually kind of like it here.
Here comes some hate.
I don't understand how they got a second Super Bowl here.
Right, it's inconvenient.
The Bay Area is just not a real location for a Super Bowl. It could be its own state.
Yeah. We've got like 3 hours total probably on a bus tonight. Hour and a half there, hour and a half back.
Whereas like New Orleans, which if it was up to me, every Super Bowl would be in New Orleans.
Right.
Everything's just in one area. There's plenty of places to stay. It has everything you need. It's just a lot more centralized.
Right.
How do you think the Denver Super Bowl in 2033 is going to hit?
I've been thinking about this, and I don't know who listens to our show. It's obviously
everybody,
millions of people, but
make sure to
I need to be on the Super Bowl committee for when it comes to Denver because I just provide a perspective of like the people who are actually here for it.
Right.
One thing that happened is like the closest Starbucks to right here, understaffed.
That's crazy.
That can't happen.
Right.
Just can't happen. You got to triple the staff for that week because now there's an outdoor line and an indoor line. You got 30 people on both sides trying to order their coffees, and these poor people that are working there are just getting completely buried.
3 workers.
2 when I went this morning.
2, man, that is brutal.
Yeah.
So that's just the perspective that I'll bring to the Denver Super Bowl committee.
We need that. We still need the inside scoop perspective, Henry.
We do. We're gonna look a little closer again, so you can kind of see. We've got the blue dot. They'll show where we are. Again, kind of like not close to the ocean side, close to the bay side. You can see Golden Gate Bridge up there, top left. Obviously, across that's where all the monkeys are. And then if we go to the next slide, we can really see where we are. So we're in the Super Bowl Media Center, Moscone Center.
Yes.
Is what I've been calling it at least. Might be Moscone.
It's Moscone. It's a hard E.
Hard E. I like it. The hard E. That's where we are.
Do you know what it's named after?
A guy named Moscone.
Paul Moscone.
That's it.
Shut up.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Yeah. I hate Yeah. So we're in that big circle on the left on your screen, but over to the right, that's where the Pro Bowl is. Tomorrow. Which is something I didn't even realize till I got here was that the Pro Bowl is also here. Actually, I just ran into Zach Allen on the street yesterday and was like, Pro Bowl. But yeah, so everybody's, I think right now, the AFC's practicing.
Yep.
Kind of crazy. PS1 is coaching the defense for the AFC, with PS2 obviously on the team. I heard some rumors, only 2 coverages for the defense.
Wow.
A little bit of concern, but we'll see how that all plays out.
2 coverages are PS1 and PS2. Those are the 2 calls.
Actually be sick. That would be sick.
It actually sucks that the Pro Bowl is terrible
Dead.
as it is. Like the voting system we know has been like kind of broken and a joke for a while, but now like the game itself is played in a convention room just like this. In fact, we heard, I don't remember who told us earlier, but they can't even throw deep passes because the ceilings are too low. What are we doing?
It's going to be kind of crazy.
It's so stupid, but hopefully we can talk to some Broncos.
We got to stop this.
Yes.
It must be stopped.
Yes.
Just make it like a poker tournament or something.
Totally, yeah.
I will say the $50,000 bonus to go to the winning team, Zac says it's a big deal. Everybody really wants that. And that's a guy who's making a lot of money, which most of the Pro Bowl.
Imagine getting paid $50,000 to win a flag football game.
Incredible. Incredible. And our final slide here. This is actually the map of this ballroom that we are in. Red square right there. That's where our set is. So a lot of people kind of walking by.
Yeah, we're at the very front.
We are.
It's an incredible spot. And then you can kind of look around. Like over on the left, there's the ESPN set. That's where McAfee's going to be all week. Or
half
the end of the week. But they'll have the set all week. You can look around. I mean, NBC Sports just below them, right over there. That's where they're taping Pro Football Talk. The Kay Adams up there at the set, which will not be named. But yeah, pretty cool. Just so you guys kind of see the background
Sean
what's
Payton
going
will be
on.
later in the week.
This is what.
Yep.
It will be there.
Very briefly.
Right, but this is kind of what you'll be seeing in the background.
Really quick, I want to do something every day. Remind me on the show to do this. Who is the most famous person you've seen in the last 24 hours?
Other than Ryan.
That was going to be my answer too. Yeah. I mean, Ryan, do you want to tell us why you're not going to be on the show tomorrow?
Yeah.
You're big timing us?
I am participating in a golf tournament.
As what?
What golf tournament?
What's
it called?
It's called Golf Tournament for Just a Guy.
Oh, it's a Jag golf tournament. Just the guy golf tournament.
It's a celebrity golf tournament. We were saying there, he's like, oh, I can't find. They only call him RK in like the. Well, like he is one of the celebrities, along with Aqib, along with Marshawn Lynch, I believe, is one of the other celebrities. You know, it's the big three: Marshawn, Aqib, and RK.
Honored to be doing a show with you today.
It's for the kids. It's all for the kids.
Shout
out to the Pinkney Foundation, which will be benefiting from the tournament. Shout out to my guy Shamari, who invited me, and Preston as well. I'm very excited to be playing golf tomorrow. I'm not going to lie.
That's dope. We're going to miss you, but Benny is joining us later this week. Starting tomorrow, he's going to be on the show. And guys, we actually do have a lot of Broncos news to get to. So that was the Inside Scoop powered by Ent Credit Union. Go to ent.com/DNVR to sign up. And let's dive into this Broncos news, starting with the coaching search. We got some interesting information on George Paton floating out around there and some international games. Let's dive into it. That's coming up next.
Shout out to our friends over at Bet365.
God, I love Bet365.
Who doesn't love Bet365? Unfortunately, the Nuggets last night weren't able to get it done with the 2-1 odds. It's a real shame. But, you know, a lot of good things do happen over at Bet365. Avs today playing Detroit. That's a lock. Just add that little -200 in there. With another bet, you'll make some money. Whole bunch of perks over at Bet365 every single day. They've got the boosts, they've got the bonuses. And breaking news from Bet365, new customers now get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use the code DNVR365, deposit $10, place bet for $5, get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
Something else we love is Taco Bell. And guys, you probably thought you couldn't like Taco Bell even more. Let me throw 2 words at you that are going to make it even better. Lux value.
Oh,
I mean, come on. Those 2 things paired with Taco Bell, it does not get better than that. From $3 and under, you get savory classics that are just absolutely delicious. Check out the Taco Bell's Lux Value menu. It's filled with innovative products that only Taco Bell can deliver. And I mean, you go there and you're just going to be blown away with every good thing they have. In fact, What's lunch today, fellas?
Yeah, we're going to Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. After this, we are heading over to Taco Bell to check out their new Chipotle Ranch Chicken Stacker, the mini taco salad, beefy, potato-loaded griller. Nobody delivers everyday value, and support your hometown teams like Taco Bell. Live Moss over at our friends at Taco Bell. And shout out to our presenting sponsor, Bet365. Use that code DNVR365 when you sign up. Also, as you will see soon, we are doing a really cool thing with Big Brothers Big Sisters on Wednesday, where we're going to be giving to them, and we want you to help as well. So get ready on Wednesday to give back to Big Brothers Big Sisters, which is obviously a very, very cool organization, very special to us. So get ready for that. And guys, I've learned that my tiny body already looks even smaller on this set. Is that right?
Well, you got the big chair and the little chair.
Yeah,
You're in the little chair.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, you do look a little smaller.
I feel smaller. And also, this chair, the back is broken, so you can't really lean back. So I think I'm even like scrunched over even more.
Yeah, so we had other chairs. And this is how I made up for not being here tomorrow.
Okay.
You know, I'll be playing golf.
Right.
Our other chairs did not get delivered. So last night, Allie and I are literally driving around San Francisco trying to find more chairs for us to have on this set. Finally, our best option was buying these chairs from someone off of Facebook Marketplace. So we just went to a random person's house and got these chairs, the one that you're sitting in.
So what you're saying is how you helped me by being off the show tomorrow is you got me a broken chair that makes me look even tinier.
Yeah,
that really sounds good.
See, everyone's
clapping. We got our friends over at CHGO going live as well right now. This is the spot to be, guys. Not Radio Row, but right here.
In
our
that
spot.
chair?
Maybe in that couch that you guys have.
Just don't lean back too aggressively.
Yeah, don't lean back. Yeah, I think we should put the guests in this chair and just see who does.
Most of our guests will be bigger than us.
I know.
Can I spoil one of the guests?
Yeah.
So like Sean Merriman tomorrow.
Yes.
You put Sean Merriman in the little chair, he's still much bigger than all of us.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if I want Sean Merriman tipping back in one of these and.
Right.
I do.
He always
played for the Chargers.
But always an angry guy, I feel like. He always played angry.
Right.
Yeah. He's been talking shit about Shador recently.
Oh.
Are we going to have to fight Sean Merriman? I've got your back.
3-on-1.
Yeah.
You in?
2.5.
That's fine.
2 3/4 if we got your wheelchair.
We will have Benny though. So yeah, I like our odds now.
Right.
Okay, so let's dive into some Broncos news because after all, we are a Broncos show. And just first off, I don't know if you can see the banner in the background. Guys, we were an ankle away from that being Bo Nix and Pat Surtain on the banner behind us for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking seeing it. But we're still here, and we're going to have a lot of cool interviews throughout this week. But let's dive into this Broncos news first. So yesterday, the 10th and final head coaching job was completed. Kind of. And no Broncos were hired in this coaching search. And Vance Joseph has been telling people in the Broncos building for over a week that he expects to be, or that he will be back. Before even the Cardinals job was filled, he was telling people in the Broncos building that. So he is officially back. And then Davis Webb over the weekend interviewed for the Broncos offensive coordinating job. It very much seems like he is going to be the offensive coordinator for the Broncos. At the same time, Broncos lost a couple of guys. Jim Leonard goes to the Bills, and Pete Carmichael, senior offensive assistant, went to the Bills as well to be their offensive coordinator. So Broncos lose a couple guys, but ultimately keep the two guys that was the biggest this cycle to keep.
Yeah, I think it worked out really well. I don't think there's really any situation where you make the AFC Championship like this, have such a great season, and don't end up losing anyone.
Yeah.
But I think that if we had to choose before all of this happened, who do we want to hold on to? We would have chose Vance and Davis Webb. And we're going to keep those guys. And, Sean had some shakeups that he wanted to do. You're going to have to be replacing the entire secondary in terms of your safeties coach and your corners coach, or you could get, however you want to do it.
Yep.
So there's going to be some change, which I think is healthy. But in the end, you were able to keep what we definitely thought, and I think we're vindicated, we're the 2 hottest commodities.
Yeah, 100%. I guess you didn't necessarily know that you were going to have to fire Joe Lombardi in order to keep Davis Webb. And I'm sorry to Joe that he had to get in Sean's mood to be fired. But ultimately, yeah, it does work out kind of perfectly for the Broncos.
Yeah, I will say I've been a Jim Leonhard guy for a long time.
Yeah.
All the way back to like rumors of him coming to Colorado.
Yep.
I've spent a lot of time digging into Jim Leonhard stuff. So he was the defensive backs coach for a year at Wisconsin before taking over as defensive coordinator at Wisconsin. Led some incredible defenses. I think in 6 years he had 5 top 10 defenses. I want to say 2 number 1 in the country defenses.
Wow.
And a couple more in the top 5. Which is why he was a Badger. He became the interim head coach. People were upset there that he wasn't the full-time head coach when they hired a new one. But a lot of what he does has translated to what the Broncos do. You know, we talk about how, yes, he's just the defensive pass game coordinator, but in a lot of those meetings, his voice is heard and you see some of the influence, particularly with dropping some different guys in coverage, all the different sim pressures the Broncos have been running the past couple of years. That's what he was doing at Wisconsin, where you send Jaquan or Huff off one edge, you drop a defensive end or even a defensive tackle. Do we see a defensive lineman get an interception this year on one of those drops? Dondre. Yeah.
2 of them.
Right. Absolutely. And so that's a lot of what Jim Leonhard was doing at Wisconsin. And you'd imagine that when those get drawn up by the Broncos, he's a big part of those conversations and how those are getting done. So I'm not going to downplay the loss of Jim Leonhard because there was a time when I thought, hey, this could work out perfectly. Vance gets a head coaching job. You get to hold on to Jim Leonhard.
So really quick, would you rather lost Vance? Okay.
But pre-New England game, there would have been some thoughts. But after watching that master class, like, I agree. This worked out the way you want. You get to keep Davis Webb. You get to keep Vance Joseph. And Jim Leonhard, good for him. It's tough to keep that much talent, though.
What's a bummer for Vance, but good for the Broncos long-term potentially, guys. A record 10 jobs were open, and including one that he had the most ties with the Cardinals, and he didn't get a job. It's unfortunate to say, but maybe he could be the Broncos defensive coordinator for the long term. I hope that's not the case because I think he deserves to get a head coaching job. But this isn't just something that he could stay around for one more year. He might be here for the Sean Payton era potentially now.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Vance. I think he deserves another chance. I think he would be much more successful if given the right opportunity. At the same time, though, it's like if the Cardinals aren't going to do it, a place where he had a lot of success. If then it's coming down to like maybe the Bengals at some day would be interested.
That's true.
In bringing Vance back, but it doesn't feel like he's getting legitimate interest from just outside teams that he hasn't been involved with.
The Dolphins, he was there. DC, they had an opening, didn't go with him.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, there's a lot that kind of goes into this, and that's behind it, but it's going to be tough for him. I kind of hope that there's a side of him that thinks like, I'm really great at this. Colorado is my home. I work with some of the best players in the NFL. Like, I hope that he sees it that way too. Because in my opinion, being a head coach isn't all it's cracked up to be. Especially, to whisper this because PHNX is around here, but like for the Cardinals.
Right. Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think, I remember when Todd was on saying, I don't think Vance can get another head coaching job just from his work with the Broncos. Because I think with the talent that they have there, with Sean kind of stealing the show, that it's just going to be really hard for a retread to get that second opportunity. And so I at some point, I wonder if he feels like he has to leave to have the opportunity to actually get that step again. But there might be a chance, obviously, that he just says, I've got a good thing going here. Let's ride out the Sean Payton era. And because he's early 40s, mid 40s probably now.
Early 50s.
Early 50s now.
Yeah.
Okay.
53.
So the clock is ticking a little bit because you would think once you're 60, it's going to be hard to get like a head coach.
Ticking.
So
He's not
in
trying
terms
to have
of like
kids.
right. No, but I mean like you would think late 50s, you could definitely still get hired as a head coach. Early 60s as a second shot.
I mean, we're seeing, oh God, I'm blanking on his name. Todd Monken get his first job ever. He's in his 60s.
Oh, totally. But I think it's different when you've had that shot and then your defensive coordinator get boxed in. So I'm curious to see how it all plays out. And I do change my mind. I do think that there's a chance that somebody hires him as a head coach after what he does with the Broncos. It's just tough though, because again, like, you had defensive player of the year last year. You've got Zach Allen, best defensive tackle in the NFL. Maybe Jeffrey Simmons, you could have the conversation, but right there, like Nick Bonito, finalist for defensive player of the year. It's going to be tough to get that opportunity again because people just like the young, fun coaches who are on the offensive side.
Yep.
And if you can't get it when there's 10 jobs open and it feels like kind of a light year for good head coach candidates, it's a bad sign.
Yeah, totally. And then on the flip side, this might be the last time the Broncos get Davis Webb is 2026 as the offensive coordinator. Guys, I talked to a source in the building yesterday just to confirm that he did have an interview. And when I asked, like, did he interview? And it was like, the answer to me was, of course he did.
Yep.
And it's like, we know where this is going. Like, we've known it, and it's just a matter of when, whether it's in 2 minutes from now, whether it's on Friday, it's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is the perfect situation for the Broncos and also the perfect situation for Davis Webb. Henry and I talked about this on the show the other day. I really hoped for him that he wasn't going to get the Raiders job because I think that's just a bottomless pit of doom.
Yeah.
A black hole, some might say.
Yes, exactly. It's
really
quite
are
literally a black hole. You just go in there and you disappear and no one ever knows where you went.
Remember,
so I
wasn't Lane Kiffin there? Yeah, that was right.
Yes.
Lane Kiffin,
and
who we look at now, is like, right. And now you look at, like, that's what it did to his career. How long did it take for him to get back to, like, oh, yeah, Lane Kiffin, who we all thought was going to be a great coach.
Yeah.
So I wanted him to not get that for him.
Yeah.
And then I wanted him to stay as the offensive coordinator of the Broncos. I think it's the perfect scenario for him to essentially not have to deal with so much change in 1 year. People were mentioning him for the Baltimore job, and it's like, yeah, of course, that's a great job with a lot of talent, but you're going into a brand new place where the standard is incredibly high.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a top 5 offense and your team isn't going to the AFC Championship game, that's a failure of a season. Maybe their standards have lowered a little bit after missing the playoffs this year, but there's still going to be a high expectation.
Yeah.
For him, he comes back to the Broncos. The Broncos actually have a ton of room for growth on the offensive side.
Yeah.
He works with Bo Nix again. Hopefully, Bo gets only better in another year. And then you stay exactly as shiny, if not more shiny, a year from now as the next big thing as a head coach. Then had you gone and got an offensive coordinator job somewhere else, maybe you take a step back and everyone's like, oh, maybe he's not as good as he looked.
Yeah, there's really like no downside. Even if the offense stays where it is, his name is still going to have so much shine on it working from Sean. Man, and you just think about some jobs that can open up next year. Not that I'd recommend him going to Cincinnati, but could you imagine coaching Joe Burrow and that's your first head coaching job? That wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to continue to follow this all week as it goes down. But there's an interesting connection going on with George Paton. We're going to have some guests on coming up, but we also want to have this conversation. So what is going on with George Paton? Is there a chance the Broncos lose him? Yeah, that's actually floating out in the waves right now. So let's talk about that. That's coming up next.
Athletes, weekend warriors, anyone who loves to move, it's time to probably make sure that you're not going to get hurt. Because the worst thing that can happen, especially when you're getting up there in age and you're like in this groove and you're working out and you're being active and you're playing pickleball, you're playing golf, you're playing basketball, soccer, then you get hurt. And it's just so easy. Now you're back on the couch doing nothing. And all that could be prevented by our friends over at Common Spirit Health in Parker, or really any of their many, many locations in the Front Range area. They've got a team of qualified and passionate providers that specialize in the diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of sports-related injuries for all athletes, including your Denver Broncos. So this isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's about preventative care, performance enhancement, and getting you back to peak condition safely and quickly. So don't let an injury keep you on the bench, or even better, get proactive about your health. For more information, visit mountain.commonspirit.org. Common Spirit Health, official healthcare partner of the AFC West champion Denver Broncos.
And we know that Toyota is the official vehicle of DNVR. We also know it's the official vehicle of the NFL. It is the unofficial official vehicle of San Francisco, in my opinion, as well. Guys, I've only seen those ridiculous self-driving cars in Toyotas. Those are the only 2 cars that I've seen in this town. In fact, you guys rented a car yesterday. It was a Toyota.
It was. Beautiful Toyota.
Our Uber was a Toyota. And in fact, the only car that is in this convention center is a Toyota. There's a beautiful red Toyota just a couple of booths down from us right now. And so if you want the car of us, the car of the NFL, the car of San Francisco, the car of the Super Bowl, you got to check out our friends over at Toyota. And if you're in Colorado and want to go stop by, they've got so many Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is that official automotive partner of the NFL and the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places. Welcome back to the DNVR Broncos Podcast, presented by Bet365. Use that code DNVR365 when you sign up. We are live from Radio Row. Fellas, there's some interesting things going on with George Paton that I want to get to. So, of course, on, Friday or Saturday, the Vikings fired their general manager. And when they did that, it opened up a job that George Paton has been the assistant general manager to. Okay, don't care about that. George Paton is the general manager of the number 1 seed Denver Broncos. But then there's a report from Diana Rossini who says a name that's been circulating in conversations about their open GM role is George Paton. She said, quote, another name circulating conversations with league sources is former Viking executive and current Broncos general manager George Paton, who still has strong internal relationships. Paton remains under contract with Denver and is well regarded by both Broncos ownership and head coach Sean Payton. What are we doing here? Is there something real that could happen from this?
No. This doesn't make it past the first layer of my bullshit filter.
No, this is standard NFL reporter bullshit.
Yes, it is. It is.
This is just the classic.
The classic
See
stuff.
right through it.
See right through it. George Payton's up for an extension, is he not?
He is, yeah.
George Payton has a lot of friends over there in Minnesota, does he not?
He does, yeah.
The friends over there in Minnesota are making Georgie a couple extra bucks. Getting that extension talks probably even kickstarted a little faster, making sure there's no funny business going around here. Now, if I was the Broncos and I didn't want to play these games, I would be like, oh yeah, that's really cute. What are they offering to trade for you? Because you're under contract. You're under contract for another year. Like, stop this BS. If the Vikings want George Paton, send the first round pick. Let's get these talks started.
What would be your price?
Don't just talk in the media.
What would be your price?
So, make us an offer. My price would probably be lower than I would do it. I would definitely do it for a first round pick.
You definitely do it for a first round pick. Yeah, RG just threw out Justin Jefferson. Could you imagine a player for GM trade like that?
How does this keep happening? I get trouble at home for one time saying Broncos should trade for Justin Jefferson if they get the chance. And next thing you know, every single show, Justin Jefferson trade comes up. So I'm going to get murdered again.
All right.
But yeah.
Minnesota receives George Paton.
Yep.
Denver, George Paton and a second.
Yeah, get on here. Let's bring in our first guest of the week, our NFL insider, Adam Hoge, joining us. Hoge, welcome to the show.
Careful that
Thank you for joining us.
Doesn't fall over. I think it's a little unbalanced. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
So, Hoge, we're talking about rumors, at most I should call them, floating around that the Vikings might be interested in hiring Broncos general manager George Paton as their general manager right now. George still has a year left under contract, so we're kind of floating around.
Diana Rossini.
Yeah, Diana Rossini had that.
Just because he was in Minnesota before?
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
And she says that he's still very highly regarded there, which I'm sure he is, and what he's done in Denver makes...
So to catch you up on our conversation, I said it doesn't make it past the first level of the BS filter.
Agreed.
Because he's under contract, so they'd have to trade for him in the first place. Right. Or...
active negotiations.
They're in active negotiations, so his buddies in Minnesota are just, tossing this out there so he can get a couple extra bucks on the deal.
Yeah, I don't buy that seems hard to believe that would. I mean, I could see why they're interested, but to think that they would actually be able to pull that off, why he would want to leave Denver right now.
Right.
Well, so then
other than the fact that your head coach and quarterback are arguing over injuries, so maybe he's just had enough.
They are doing that.
Don't start this now, Hoge.
That's why he fits perfectly in there, though, because while
some middle ground.
Your coach is, let's see, I'm not going to call him an ass because that would be rude, but he has, some tendencies to be a little bit aggressive. Your
he's
quarterback,
an ass. It's okay, but he's
quarterback also is a bit of an ass, but it doesn't show up as much because your head coach is more of an ass. And so, but George is just such like a friendly guy that he just gets along with both. He's a nice old glue.
But here's the thing, though. The reason why I will almost never completely dismiss a rumor like this is because of what just happened in Minnesota. Like, it's been fascinating to watch this unfold over the last few days because I think until the moment they fired Kwesi, everyone's all of a sudden now, oh, yeah, there's been rumblings about that. Everyone knew about
history. Yeah. Thank you for saying that.
And like
since 2023, we've known that there was.
Right. And, he took some paternity leave, but
that's an insane
no one actually had a problem with it. It's not why he got fired, but yet we're all talking about it now when nobody was talking about it when it happened. Like, it's just this is the NFL, the drama. You never really know what's going on behind the scenes. There are sometimes issues that either people don't know about or there are issues that apparently in this case had been kind of circulating, but nobody was actually putting out there publicly.
Scared to say.
And so you never quite know where the smoke might be coming from. And I tend to think where in this league, when there is smoke, there usually is some fire. And that's the thing. So you just never really know when it's going to start.
Okay, so the Vikings want George Payton. Justin Jefferson doesn't want J.J. McCarthy throwing him the football.
Right.
The Broncos want Justin Jefferson. What do we got to do to get this deal done? You're our unbiased source here. Minnesota receives George Payton and what? The Broncos receive Justin Jefferson.
Right. Well, and look, wouldn't be the first time the Broncos did a trade like this. Is the Sean Payton?
Right.
That was a trade.
Yep.
I like where your head's at, though. I mean, if you're going to call Denver with a ridiculous request like this, you immediately respond. Okay, Justin Jefferson. That's what we want. And
straight up,
and
one
then
for one.
And then you see what happens.
Right.
I mean, I would assume that if this ever went down that road, it would be draft compensation. Who knows?
Right.
Look, are we having a serious conversation about this or not? To be honest,
we decided not serious.
Okay, because it
George
really
Payton's
just
not
like
going anywhere.
it's as simple as does George want to leave or not?
Right.
If he wants to leave and he would rather be the GM of the Minnesota Vikings and go back to where he came from, then you probably start to, okay, well, how do we facilitate this? I'm sure Sean Payton has a lot of power. Anyway, we can find a way to make this work and get draft compensation. But if he wants to be in Denver, then you work out a contract extension out of this.
Yeah.
And that's another source of where this might be coming from.
Exactly. And that's why
right? Like, oh, you got your name floated out in another organization. It's a great way to get a pay raise and an extension.
Right, and it's so easy. So the way it probably plays out is you're the Vikings, and you say, if we could have anybody to be our GM, who do we choose? We choose George Payton. And so you throw out a feeler, whatever it may be, and the answer is probably like, oh, I don't think so. But because of a contract negotiation, the agent gets to say, hey, there's interest over there, and so you better up that offer. And it almost reminds me of Tim Connolly when he was the president of the Nuggets, whatever the role was, builds the current Nuggets team, and then contract expires. And the Timberwolves, also Minnesota, say, not only will we give you a raise, we'll give you a portion of the team.
Yeah.
And so the Nuggets say, like, we just can't match this offer. It's too big of an offer. And that's the difference here, is that the Broncos, at the end of the day, can just pay more money than probably anybody's willing to because they're the richest owners in the NFL.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm not going to lie, though. You guys kind of blindsided me with this one. I didn't see that coming at all. I think
well, let's go back to your comfort zone.
Yeah.
No, I'm in my comfort zone. I just didn't really. I like being. I like being blasted with like rumors and stuff like this because you start to piece it together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's going on in Minnesota though. That was wild. To when they fired Kwesi, I was shocked by it. The timing of it was super weird. So I guess you can't really rule anything out right now.
Yeah, usually when I see something come out with bad timing like that, I'm like, uh-oh, what else is going on?
Oh, yeah, obviously something happened in the last few weeks.
Right.
And it couldn't have just been Sam Darnold made the Super Bowl.
Right.
They were already the one seed. They had already won. He had already done everything he did this season. So it wasn't just because they beat the Rams and got to the Super Bowl.
But
something else must have happened here.
Isn't the fumbling of that quarterback situation in and of itself a fireable offense?
Well, anytime you get the quarterback wrong, it usually leads to, somebody get it. The GM's usually fired in that situation.
To tie this to a bow, George Payton made it through Russell Wilson somehow, though.
He did.
It's weird, though. I didn't necessarily think they were handling it wrong. Like, I can't now totally criticize the Vikings because you had already used a first-round pick.
Yep.
The chances say I was thinking that it would have been hard for Sam Darnold to replicate what he did last season.
Yeah.
A lot of the advanced numbers show that he was throwing a lot of turnover-worthy passes out there and was kind of getting lucky. There were a lot of things pointing that he would have thrown a lot more interceptions than he did this year in Seattle. So the fact that he passed my eye test, like once we got to the NFC Championship game last week, I wasn't worried about him at all. I wasn't like, whereas like a couple months ago, I was like, all right, he's gonna turn into a pumpkin. Yep. Something's gonna happen.
He had that little lull in there. It's like, oh, here
because it happened last year. Yeah. That's the part I will defend the Vikings on. He was bad in those last two games last year. He was bad in Week 18, which cost them the 1 seed, cost them, which was the reason why they had to go to LA and play the Rams on the road, and he was bad in that playoff game.
Right.
So if you're the Vikings, what do you do in that situation? Right. Yeah. I can't really blame them, but you still got it wrong.
I got to bring this back to the Broncos because I wanted to ask you this before we have to let you go. You were lower on the Broncos most of the season. And then
That's not true. I had him like fifth, and you guys were yelling at me.
No. They were outside the top 5 for a while.
Wait, what was the game where you
Hold on, let me just finish this. Yeah. Then you came around on them.
Yeah.
What did they do to kind of prove to you that they were legit this season?
For the record, it was the same thing I went through with the same team I covered to a show on a daily basis. The Broncos and Bears were in that same boat the entire time, and I bumped the Broncos up way before I did even the Bears.
It's noble of you.
Yeah, I know. I mean, part of it's the quarterback. Part of it is I was never a full believer in what I was seeing offensively, which even if it was just Sean Payton being cranky and in one of his moods or whatever the hell that was, they did fire the OC when it was all said and done. I think even the Broncos are telling you we want to be better and more consistent on offense.
Yeah. But what made it kick in?
Well, I just think at some point, like, and we did this with the Bears this year too. Like at some point you are what your record says you are, and you're finding ways to win these games. And your defense is obviously good enough that it can carry you, maybe not all the way to the Super Bowl, but took you all the way to the AFC Championship game. So I don't remember the exact week. I
think it was the Chiefs, because I remember you saying if they beat the Chiefs, then I'll move them into my top 5.
Which is what I did with the Bears too. I said when you get over that hump with the Packers, then I believe you're a Super Bowl contender. And they didn't do that the first time. They did do it the second time, and then they actually did beat them in the playoffs. So I think it was the same type of test. I think it's partly the eye test, what you're watching on film, but also like you got to earn it. You got to get over the hump in some of those big games, especially rivalry games within your own division, and slaying the Chiefs. I mean, you guys have been in that division and how dominant they've been. I think that was like a big arrival moment for the Broncos.
So now you're a believer.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
I'm a bold. Okay. I was wondering. I had a feeling at some point this week this was going to come up. So if I say I'm believing in him the same way I've came around on Brock Purdy and believe in Brock Purdy, is that an insult, or is that?
It feels like it.
Why?
No, it comes off.
Brock Purdy's good.
Right.
Why is it an insult?
I don't know. I don't like him.
Bo's magic.
So you Polieve?
Are you purring for Purdy?
Purring for Purdy.
They're both quarterbacks I trust enough to run a well-coached offense and win a lot of football games. There are so many teams that would die for that in the NFL.
Yeah, it's very
It's
true.
not an insult.
We'll take it.
But then Bo always wins at the end. He has the comebacks. He has the big drives and the big moments.
Yeah. His fourth quarter numbers are incredible.
Which is the juice.
And we went through that with Caleb this year too.
Yeah.
He can be downright bad sometimes, and then when you get to the fourth quarter, you're like, this is going to work out more times than not.
Who would you rather have, Caleb or Bo, right now for the rest of their career?
He's definitely taking Caleb.
I'm taking Caleb just because of the raw talent, and
that's fair.
But I'm acknowledging that might end up being a bad take at some point. But I'm gonna go with any evaluator would do it as well. Like when you just see the raw talent and everything he has. But I think Bo's ahead of Caleb right now in terms of understanding of how to play the full quarterback position, which is a big part of it. I mean,
All right. Fun fact about Adam is he's on another show right now.
Yeah, that's incredible.
That is a fun show.
So we have to let him get back to his other show.
Get out of here.
And there's a chance I'll actually be recording an interview for a different show at the same time.
Wow. So 3 at once.
We'll see how many. I'm playing a game. How many shows going to be on at one time?
That's impressive.
He can do it all. He can do it all. All right. That's Adam. Thanks for joining us. Hoge, we've got another guest that's coming up next.
Shout out to our friends over at Coors Light. It's a big Coors Light week. Coors Lights last night at the bar. Coors Lights tonight
at the bar.
Coors Lights tomorrow
at the media party.
And
then at the bar.
Coors Lights Thursday
at the bar.
Coors Lights Friday at the airport. Coors Lights Saturday
at the bar.
Yep. Coors Light Sunday.
Super Bowl.
At the Super Bowl party.
Yeah.
Wow. Big Coors Light week. There is no situation where you can't have a Coors Light.
Facts.
Coors Light, it's the best. When you choose chill, choose Coors Light. When you're hanging with your friends, choose Coors Light. It's the best stuff. When the mountains turn blue, it's cold as the Rockies. It's cold lagered, cold filtered, cold packaged for a smoother finish. When you embrace a chill mindset, choose Coors Light. So make the most of the times you choose to chill by choosing Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado beer.
And nothing hits quite like watching your team win and win and win and when the players' passion and the fans' dedication get together and overcome those odds. Those are the moments that we live for, celebrating how far we've come together. At Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers, we're proud to stand with fans across Colorado, treating more adult cancer than anyone else in the state. And unfortunately, if this terrible thing impacts you, Rocky Mountain Cancer Center is there for you, for your family. So you bring your fighting spirit. They rally behind you every step of the way over at Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers, the official sponsor of Denver sports fans. So go check them out at Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers, where they rally behind you every step of the way. That's Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers, the official sponsor of Denver sports fans. Welcome back to the DNVR Broncos podcast. We are joined by another guest, CU Buff, and the opening drive host at Sirius XM NFL Radio and former safety as well, Solomon Wilcots. Solly, thanks for joining us.
Hey, great to be on with you guys in the radio row. Isn't this fantastic? Isn't this great?
Yeah, it really is.
Awesome, isn't it?
Love the energy.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly what we need. We love that energy. So when I want to start here, Sean Payton before the season threw out that he thought this Broncos team this past year could win the Super Bowl. When you heard that or hear that going into the season, did you think he was crazy, or did you see this Broncos team as a team
I still think he's right. I still think, I mean, if they don't lose Bo Nix, they could be playing in this game easy. I mean, that's a no-brainer. I was crestfallen when the news came out that he had been injured, because when the game ended, we didn't know that, right?
Yeah.
We ended up finding out later that he was injured and he was going to be out of the playoffs. Clearly, they bring one of the game's great defenses. They led the league in sacks and their ability to harass the quarterback. And, you know, the offense was still good enough to complement that defense. And so I thought they had something good going. Really great coaches in that building, right, on offense and on defense. And I thought, you know, I still think that, you know, they were almost robbed, right, with that injury, robbed them of an opportunity to be represented here at the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, we were just so confident based on what we saw in the Bills game.
Yeah.
You know, where you see Bo go toe-to-toe with Josh Allen, which isn't easy to do in that environment.
That's right.
To hit the ball it was Marvin Mims at the front pylon in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You wind up pulling it out in overtime. Do you feel like you learned anything about Bo in that game in particular?
No, I think I did. You know, Bo, I think for one, I think we underestimate his mobility and his overall athleticism. And I do believe that our game today, unless you're one of these older veteran guys, like Matthew Stafford or Joe Burrow, that really you got to be a dual threat quarterback in our league today. You've got to be able to use your legs. You've got to be a movement guy. You almost have to be literally one of the best athletes on the team. Josh Allen represents that, right?
Yeah.
Pat Mahomes represents that. You've got to be able to make plays with your legs because they can only draw it up in so many different ways to help you, throw the ball or get time to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Defenses are so athletic in our league. All 11 defenders is a freak of nature athlete. That's what you're playing against.
Yeah.
And even the 5 linemen aren't nearly the athletes that those other guys are on defense. Now, your receivers, your running back, they are. Well, your quarterback better be.
Yeah.
And if he's a stiff, if he's not mobile, if he can't escape or extend the play, then you're really going to be compromised. You're playing with a liability. But that's what Bo Nix represents. He represents the modern day quarterback that can beat you with his arm, can beat you with his legs. And later, as he becomes more experienced, he'll be able to beat you with his mind.
When you look at this team, and this is kind of a fun place for us to be heading into this offseason because it's like, okay, you got to the AFC Championship game, like you didn't have your quarterback, but like you're just maybe a couple moves away from being able to build a Super Bowl roster. What do you think the Broncos kind of need to address this offseason and add to this team?
If I said more at wide receiver, everyone say yes. But I could tell you, I love Cortland Sutton, but I thought the guys around him at receiver got better as the season went on. Like they had guys that were coming out of nowhere making plays. Marvin Mims is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, if you can beat Christian Gonzalez on a go route, dude, that's doing. I mean, Christian Gonzalez is one of the great corners. That's right, former Buff. I remember he left us to go to Oregon.
He did.
I'm not gonna hold it against you, Christian. You just doing what you needed to do. But yeah, I mean, listen, I think their wide receiving core is just going to continue to get better. And if you look at the wide receivers that Sean has had in his offense, go back to those Drew Brees days, they didn't really have highly drafted guys or world beaters. They were just a great collective group that played well around the quarterback, that had great chemistry with Drew Brees. And that's what I think these guys have that. So I would just love to see them continue their offensive line was the big improvement, right? I would love to see them continue to play better there. I think a more dominant run game that can take over games maybe. Yeah. They were good. They weren't a liability. Yeah. But I just think those are the things that you want to do. You want to continue to get better around the quarterback. And the quarterback with experience will continue to get better.
Yeah, and let's talk about another buff. Vance Joseph leading that dominant defense. He's going to be back next season. How big is that to have Vance back as the defensive coordinator and maybe take this group to another level?
First of all, I know NFL owners, not all of them know what they're doing, because there's no reason why Vance Joseph should not be a head coach. With 10 vacancies at the head coaching position, this guy, he's so smart. He commands the room. He's a phenomenal leader. He's a great communicator. And then schematically, he knows how to help players get better.
Yeah.
That's what you want from coaches. And if you look at the 2 coaches in this Super Bowl who cut their teeth on the defensive side of the ball, Mike McDonald and obviously Mike Vrabel, VJ is just like they are. I mean, great communicator. These players will tell you that he has made them better players, right?
Yeah.
And so, look, the fact that you get to have him for another year, you're playing with house money now.
Yeah.
That's how, So, look, I think Coach Payton understood what he had. He understands what he has in VJ.
Yeah.
He understood what he was getting when he hired him as this defensive coordinator. This guy, coverages and secondary play is the new NFL. You don't win. We used to say you win up front. No, today in our league, just like these 2 teams who are playing in the second, you win on the back end. You can't let teams throw the ball over your head. You can't give up big plays in our league. And sometimes the sack gets home because the coverage is so good.
Yeah.
And that's how those defenses are built. That's Denver. I mean, that's secondary. I'd love to have every last one of those guys.
Yeah.
And I think Jahdae Barron is just going to make them better. He's going to be another second-year player that gives them more value and more depth on the back end of that defense.
Yeah.
And then when you have as many guys that can rush the passer as they do, you're like, so they're going to continue to be a great defense in our league. They're one of the best defenses. I put them, in fact, I give them number one. I put Seattle and Houston and New England right in that same category.
And I think what they did in the AFC Championship game kind of proves that. I mean, fourth quarter, there's the snow, so it's going to inflate the stats. But they shut them down. I mean, Drake May couldn't get to 100 yards.
That's right.
And it's you mentioned the secondary, Funga and Pat and all those different guys back there. But you also have the front where back-to-back seasons you've led the NFL in sacks by a dozen with Zach Allen and Benito and Cooper and JFF, all those guys. And in the middle, Alex Singleton is your captain with Drake Green. Like, it's crazy to have a defense where at every level you just feel so good about it. Like, do you think that that's something that you just run it back next year, same group, same staff, and we should just expect number one defense again?
And I think Drake Greenlaw will be another year in the defense. He'll be better, right? More healthy. Same with Talanoa Hufanga, another year in the defense, making all the calls and the checks. When coaches get to know players, you get to know how you can best use them within the defense and how they become a much better fit. Year two in any system, you're just better by way of experience, right? Time on task is how we kind of describe that. And so I think the coaches will work better with the players will work better in that system. I already talked about that with a Jahdae Barron. Look, you have the best cornerback in football. You know that. You don't need me to tell you. And Patrick Surtain. There's nothing this guy can't do. He's big. He can run. He's physical. He can good zone cover guy. He can read patterns, but he's so good in man coverage as well. And I like all the other guys. I mean, I like Riley Moss. I love what they do defensively, and I love the talent that fits into this defense. So this team is going to be better. It's about just staying healthy. But it's hard to get that number one seed and home field advantage in the playoffs. And I think you believe that if you get home field advantage and you're the number one seed, you should go 2-0 when you're playing in the Super Bowl. Right? They were 1-0. They just need to win both of those games. Not having your quarterback, I thought that was the number one common denominator that kept them out of the Super Bowl.
Is there anybody who reminds you of Pat Surtain? Whether currently, I mean, he's the best, so maybe nobody comparable. But in history, is there anybody who's that big and that fast and covers that well?
Yeah, there was a guy by the name of Mike Haynes. That played for the Raiders. He started with the Patriots. He played at Arizona State, but he's a Hall of Famer.
Right.
So, smooth, very good with his hands at the line of scrimmage and man-to-man coverage. Good, still could backpedal and very fluid, but just play with a tremendously high football IQ. Mel Blount. I mean, that's high praise now. People don't realize, man, the reason why it's called the Mel Blount rule. You only can jam him within 5 yards at the line of scrimmage. Other than that, can't touch him. That rule was put in to stop Mel Blount. Who was a defensive player of the year as a defensive back. And so is Patrick Surtain. So that tells you just how dominating he is as a player. It's hard to win defensive player of the year as a corner in our league. Because all the rules are meant to force you to fail. And he has proven that he can play above even the rules that have been implemented to stop him from being as good as he is.
This is just incredible insight. One more football question for you. I got to ask about your position, safety, Hufanga, Talanoa Hufanga, what he's brought to this Broncos defense. What have you thought of him?
He kind of reminds you of Troy Polamalu, who, by the way, was coming to the University of Colorado until Kennedy Pola, got him out of there, and he ended up going to USC. Can't say he made the wrong choice because he was an All-American. He was a great player at USC, but he was on his way to Boulder. You should know that.
Breaking this guy's heart.
We have too many of those. Maurice Jones-Drew.
Maurice Jones-Drew was another guy. That's right. He was on his way to see you. But no, Hufanga's a phenomenal player. Plays fast. He plays physical, and he can play and tackles very well. And that's what I was going to say. He can play a physical style that I think is what the Denver Broncos need. And that's why I thought when they signed he and Dre Greenlaw in free agency, I thought immediately the defense was going to get better. They were going to become more physical and just better on the back end. You need physicality on the back end. You need guys who can tackle in space and provide a level of certainty to the way that you play in open field. We have some talented players on offense in the NFL. You guys know that. When these guys get into the open field, try to tackle Jamar Chase in the open field. Try to tackle Justin Jefferson in the open field and some of the great runners, right, in the open field. Doing that is so very hard. Yeah. And when you get sure tacklers like a Talanoa Hufanga or Dre Greenlaw, because they have speed and physicality that makes offensive players say, hey, this is a guy you got to watch. This guy you got to pay attention to. Yeah. Right? And guys that don't give up yards after the catch, yards after contact, that's what makes great defenses. Yeah. And so that's what comes to mind when I think of Talanoa Hufanga.
Yeah, man. Awesome. Incredible insight. You are here with a cool company with ALS. Can you tell us about it?
Koya Therapeutics. Now I'm here and I brought with me their chief medical officer, Dr. Fred Grossman, and they're working on a product and working on a treatment for ALS. As you well know, ALS is a debilitating disease. It has taken the life of great football players like a Dwight Clark. Remember the catch? Yep. Yeah. You guys know of other guys. Tim Green, he was a former broadcaster, played for the Atlanta Falcons. And you have players in the NFL. If you play professional football, you're 4 times as likely to contract ALS as someone who's in the regular population, right? 4 times the rate of contracting this disease of anyone else. And so when you have new treatments that are right now in clinical trial that Koya Therapeutics is working on, and we wanted to come and share that information. If you have a loved one or a family member who's battling this disease, you should go to the website at trials.koyatherapeutics, that's COY therapeutics.com. You want to go to the website and you want to enroll them into this clinical trial. We haven't crossed the goal line yet, but we're inside the red zone. We're that close because they've had a drug that has shown promising outcomes of being able to stop this disease in its tracks. There are no cures, but if you can find a therapeutic that keeps the disease from advancing and from getting worse, if you're contracted this disease, and we know that's a win right now. Yeah. So we want you to go to the website and find out more. We want to thank you guys for having us on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Want to thank you. Incredible insight. Really, really great to talk to you today.
I'm going to be daydreaming of Pat playing without the 5-yard rule for that.
That's right. Imagine that. Seriously. I love that thought.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you, Solomon.
Right.
Really
appreciate you.
Awesome to hear from Solomon Wilcots there. What a great show today.
Absolutely. Yeah. Amazing show.
Yeah.
And you can hop off whenever you gotta go.
Yep, you're good.
You're not hostage with us.
That does it for our guests today. But guys, I want to circle back one more time to this George Paton conversation.
Okay.
And anything else that you guys want to touch on there. But by the way, really quick, Solomon, massive fan of the Broncos. Like,
I know
highly, because you don't know how people are going to feel, especially with just how divided people were about the Broncos this past year.
I think
he's a believer. He said the Broncos are the best defense in the NFL.
I know that was
incredible.
Elite ball knowledge on display right there.
Yeah,
he referenced Jahdae Barron, which is just like, you got to know.
Yep.
You know, he wasn't a star this year. And then we also got a Mel Blount reference. Like, we got the whole spectrum. We went from a rookie to an all-time great.
Pats are tan comps. They're rare.
Those are fun.
Yeah.
Like a DB, he knows his stuff.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I thought he was going to go Champ Bailey, which would have been a great one.
Yeah.
But like, it might be the easy one, especially in Denver to do. No, he wasn't doing that. He wasn't doing that.
All right, let's talk George Paton.
Okay, so
I want to stick a fork in this officially.
Yeah, and this shows where I stand on George Paton. You guys threw out the crazy one of like George Paton and what draft pick for Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do George Paton for Justin Jefferson straight up.
Stop it.
I would not. I would not, because that is one player that is phenomenal. I mean, a future Hall of Famer.
Yep.
But George Paton, look at what he's done to this roster. He doesn't just impact one position. He impacts this entire roster. He's 50 years old. He's going to be doing this, if you want him for the next 15, 20 years. That's more impactful than one wide receiver. And you just look at the drafts that he's put together for the past 5 years. They're incredible.
Yeah.
That is more valuable for 15 years than one player. And you guys might call me crazy, and I'd understand why, but that is how impactful George Paton is.
I have a take I want to try out.
Yeah, let's just let it fly.
Yep, I'm not sure I'm going to stand by this, but I'm going to throw it out there. Draft doesn't matter for the Broncos anymore.
Oh,
You're in your Super Bowl window.
Yeah, that's
You've got 3
crazy.
more years. I guess like this year's picks in year 3 could be like important.
you're gonna take this back later.
You know, I think maybe next year is when draft doesn't matter anymore. I already take it back. But
This
you're
is
almost
crazy.
like,
No, it's fun.
you're-
I like
you're
the
in Super Bowl
trial
window.
run.
You're in Super Bowl window. So if you want vets now. Trade those first round picks. Trade those second round picks. And I'd love for George to be the one who trades them, but you're going championship. You're not
What
going
about your
draft and
third,
develop.
fourth, fifth, sixth round picks? That's even taking the
That's
first
how.
two
That's
out.
what you actually trade now. That nobody trades first round picks anymore.
But you just said trade first and second round.
I
Trade
think
'em
you
all.
make a good point, Zach. I also
Trade your
think that Sean Payton has had a lot of influence since he got here.
yeah,
Yeah.
And so he deserves some of the credit for that stuff
for sure.
as well. Was George Payton on staff with the Vikings when they drafted Justin Jefferson?
He was.
Because I was gonna say, I don't think he's drafted anyone as good as Justin Jefferson. He might have been responsible for that, for all I know. But the Broncos need a Justin Jefferson.
They do.
They need that to get over the hump to win a Super Bowl.
Yep.
Now, you could sell me on the fact that, like, if George Payton hits at a slightly higher rate, the Broncos might win 2, 3, 4 Super Bowls. And
Right.
that would be the anti-make that trade take.
Right.
But at the same time, I think the Broncos are a Justin Jefferson away from winning a Super Bowl.
True.
So if you make the move that gets you over the hump to win a Super Bowl, I'll never complain about that move moving forward. One way or another, the Broncos are going to have to get an electric, dynamic playmaker of that caliber. And to get players of that caliber, sometimes you got to roll the dice and gamble a little bit.
Where was Justin Jefferson drafted? Was it 20, 22?
Right around there.
It was somewhere right around there. Broncos are not that high up, but 30, maybe George Payton can do his best to find the next Justin Jefferson with a later round draft pick in the first round. Or you package a third round pick and you move up.
Or you get the real deal. No risk. Because that is kind of what it comes down to, right? Like, let's just say you could trade George Payton for a first round pick. George Payton's hit rate on first round picks is whatever it is, 70%. Even if that's like league average is 50%, you get 2 50% chances instead of one 70% chance.
But then you're also just losing a great mind for 15 or 20 more years. It's not just like a
Essentially.
1-for-1 there.
What if you find another?
What if
I don't know.
what if he feels like he's one championship away from retirement?
Yeah, right.
There's
What
no
if he wants to
chance.
go out
There
on
is
top?
no chance with the way George grinds. So, George, that's how much I value. I would say no to that trade right there.
I'm just a
But
big
in
Justin
all
Jefferson.
likelihood, Ryan, can you stick a fork in this?
Yeah, this is
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to say anything mean to anyone who reported stuff.
No.
This is a report that we don't have to care about.
Yep.
Yep. So that'll do it. George Payton will sign his deal, and I think you're right on that. He might get an extra couple $100,000 because of this report, maybe an extra $1 million a year.
And it's not about the reporter. It's just about the situation.
Yeah. 100%.
Who's their tight end now?
Who's?
Vikings.
Hawkinson,
No, that's not enough to swing the deal. They don't have
Jefferson,
a running
and
back.
Hawkinson.
Right.
All the Suns.
Wow.
They
Aaron Jones almost.
got any more sons?
Yeah, Suns.
It's got to have another Jefferson somewhere.
Maybe they have a junior who would be a son of someone.
right.
So it'd fit in.
Right.
Addison. Yeah.
Jefferson, Addison, Hawkinson.
Wow.
That is incredible. Anything you guys want to wrap up on today?
We kind of mentioned it, but I thought Solomon was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm back. I was hurt for a little while. I really, it was the bow injury is what it set in. Like, this is what's hurting me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ready to just get to the part where the Broncos put the finishing touches on a Super Bowl roster, and we're back here 1 year from now. We will be talking about the Broncos being in the game.
I completely agree. And Ryan, I think that missing piece is something you identified. Just get that Justin Jefferson as
simple as that.
As easy. Yep. All right, that's going to do it today. Broncos AFC Pro Bowl practice is wrapping up right now. We don't care about that, but we want to go and try to talk.
We're going to try to sneak in
order to have stay tuned to this adventure. We're going to have RG film our journey in. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Hopefully we're bringing a lot of Broncos on the show tomorrow. Hit us with the thumbs up. Subscribe. We really appreciate everyone rocking and rolling with us on this Super Bowl week. We will see you tomorrow at noon Denver time.
God bless Bo Nix.
We all silly like the mayor.